Good evening. In previous session, we have seen the concept of overriding and also we have seen about super function. So in overriding, we have seen about method overriding and constructor overriding. So in today's session, we are going to see about the concept of abstraction. So it is also one of the principle of object-oriented programming. So the name is what? Abstraction. So we are going to see about abstraction. So first I will explain a real-time examples about this abstraction and later I will give you the example programs about this abstraction. So first, before going to see the definition of an abstraction, I will give you some examples, real-time examples. That is, we are having some remote. For example, in remote we are having some numbers and here some volume button is there. Here some uh, channel button is there which can modify the channel. Right now here this is a remote, for example, and we are having some TV here, television TV is there here. Now we are seeing the channel name called as 23, channel number 23. Now if I want to modify this channel, what I have to do, I have to press some keys on this remote. So when I am going to press some numbers, for example, I am going to press 3 on this remote, then what happens here? 3 is going to be pressed and channel is going to be changed to 3. How it is possible? We don't know how internally it is going to be done, but what we know that if you are going to press a number in a remote, then the channel will be changed in our TV. We know that. Okay, what we know here, if I press this one, channel will be changed. Do you know how internally it is implemented? We don't know. Okay, that means what? Just we know that we are using remote to change the channel, but you don't know internally how it is implemented. Okay, this is first example. Now let us go to second example. Second scenario I will take. So general example, this is a general example. That is, if you are going to any ATM, okay. So when you are going to enter into an ATM, first you are going to insert what? You are going to insert a card. After inserting a card, it is going to show you some options like withdraw option, for example, withdraw option. After that, pin change option, and here mini statement, and so on. Many other options will be there here. But my concept is I want to withdraw the amount from this ATM. So I bought the card and I'm going to insert the card into the ATM, and first I'm going to click on this withdraw button. So whenever I'm going to click on this withdraw button, next what screen you are going to see? The screen is going to be changed. It is going to show me what? From savings, or it will show savings account, and it will show some current account. So that what I'm going to do, I am going to select, for example, saving account. So if you are pressing this saving account, next what it is asking, please enter amount. It is asking to enter amount. So for example, I have entered the amount called as 10,000. After pressing OK, then what happens? It is asking to enter pin. So if I'm going to enter some pin in my ATM, on the ATM machine, in the ATM machine, then what happens? Automatically we are going to get the money from the ATM. So this is the general process that even a layman can know. A layman knows this one. If he is not educated also, there is no problem. If he know how to operate it, then he will directly bring the card and he is going to follow all these options. There is no need of knowing any technical knowledge to access this ATM. Is there any need of technical knowledge to access this ATM? No. But is this ATM is developed by a layman? No, it is developed by some software people and some electrical engineers. Okay, and electrical and electronic engineers it is prepared by. Why it is required to be prepared only by the electrical and electronics engineers and computer engineers? There is some reason. So observe carefully here. Once again, I'm repeating the same process but in different way. Now see, I am coming here. So just I know English, for example, so that I can understand this withdraw. So when I'm clicking this one, just I am going to another screen where I can see this one. How this screen is going to be generated? Do we know that? I don't know. I don't know. So internally, what is happening? Internally, what is happening, I don't know. Internally, whatever the things that are going to be executed, I don't know. After that, when I'm going to click on this saving account, do I know how internally it is going to how it is the screen is going to be changed? I don't know. Internally, what programs are going to execute, I don't know. So after writing here 10,000, if I press enter, it is going to one more screen called as pin. How it is navigated to another screen, I don't know. Okay, finally I have entered here. Finally we got the money. This is the process. But how internally it is going to be done means, so whenever you are going to insert your card, first it will check whether it is valid card or not, whether it is ATM card or not, and whether it is a valid card or not. So internally it checks, your machine is going to check whether the card is valid or not. For that we are having some device, for that internally program is returned. So by scanning a tape, black color tape will be there. It will scan all the account details related to that card. So if it is correct card, a valid card, then it will go to this screen. Okay. Next, when I'm going to press on this one, then what happens? Internally, the screen is internal. Some program is going to be executed, and the screen is going to be shown to you. Now I want to get 10,000 amount from my account. So first what happens, when you are going to press 10,000 here, and when you are pressing OK button, then internally what happens, the request will send to a server. Which server? For example, your account is in HDFC server, so or HDFC bank server. So it will check your details whether 10,000 amount is present in your account or not. So if it is okay, if the amount that is present in your account is greater than 10,000, it will send request. It will respond by telling what, okay, we can process. So what happens? So when the response is given from the bank server, internally the amount will be counted by the machine, and the money will be collected by the particular person. Okay, and the amount is going to be minus detected from your account, and the balance, for example, initially 20,000 is there. Now remaining will be what? 10,000 will be updated. So for example, if I tell all these implementation details internally about any particular person, and if I ask them to access an ATM, is it easy to access? For example, I'm telling internally the code is written with C++, or internally the code is written with Java. For example, the programs that are related to this GUI is written with Java, for example. So if the person who want to access this GUI, if I ask him to learn Java, is it easy to learn the Java for every person? It is not easy. So I am not going to make the thing complex. Okay, because everyone may not know everything. So just I have to create a GUI, graphical user interface, which is easy to access. When it will be easy to access? If I am going to use the concept of abstraction, then I can make the script GUI as simple, because anyone background details is not implemented. Background details is not necessary for the customer. It is not necessary for the customer. Internally, for everything, one program will be executed. If every program should be known by the customer, is it easy process? It is not easy process. It's very difficult process. So that what our bank people or any other programmers will do, just they will not highlight any implementation details. Just they will hide everything. Just by clicking on this one, you will get on by clicking on this one and 2 or 3 buttons, you're getting the money. You are going to get the money. Is it easy or not? Yes, it is easy. So this concept is nothing but an abstraction. Okay, here what we are going to just highlighting only essential features. What is meant by essential feature here? Withdraw is an essential feature here. That's it. Next, pin change is an essential feature. Do you know how the money is going to be withdrawn internally? What are the programs that are going to be written internally? How the program is going to be written internally? What are the things that are going to be used for the program internally? We don't know. It is not necessary for a customer. So that they will not show everything, only they will highlight what? Only essential features that are required by the customer. So all the implementation details are hidden. Okay, all these things are what? Hidden internally. So If I show you the programs, is it easy? Or if I am not showing the program, is it easy? If I am not going to show you the program, then only it will be easy for the customer. So that all these implementation details are going to be hidden, and only the features which are required by the customer or any other person are going to be highlighted. That's it. This concept is called as an abstraction. So now I will go to the definition and I will tell you clearly what is meant by an abstraction. I have shown you two examples here. One is remote example, another one is ATM example. So one more example I will tell you. So I am having a car, for example. I am having a car. Here one wheels are there, for example. Let us consider this is a car. Okay, these are lights, for example. Here what will be there? Steering is there. Okay, this is steering. Now if I want to move right side, what I have to do? This steering has to turn right side, for example. If I want to move left side, if I want to go left side, the steering has to move left side. If I want to stop, I have to press brake. Okay, if I want to go fast, we have to increase the speed. Okay, this is the concept. These are the different options I can apply on the car. Do you know, when we are going to press on this brake, how the car is going to be stopped? We don't know. Just we know what, if I press brake slowly, car will be slow down. If I am going to press fastly, press hardly, then what happens? Car is going to be stopped immediately. We know this concept, but we don't know how this is going to be done. How? I don't know. But what I know, what is that? By using this brake, I can stop. Just that information I know. I don't know how it is going to be done internally. Okay. In the same way, when you are going to rotate the steering right side, how the car is going to be moved right side internally, what are the things that are going to be changed, we don't know. Actually, what are the connections that are given to the steering, I don't know everything. Just I know what, just by rotating this one, I can go right. That's it. What I want to go right, so for that what I have to do, just I have to move the steering right side. Except that I don't know anything. How it is going to be done internally, how, I don't know about that. Okay, so if you don't know how it is going to be done, just you know for what it is done, then that concept is called as what? Abstraction. Just what we are going to do in abstraction, we are going to highlight the essential features, highlight the essential features. Okay, and hiding the implementation details. So this is a simple definition for the abstraction. What is that? Highlighting the essential features and what? Highlighting the essential features and hiding the implementation details is nothing but abstraction. So main point here we have to understand is what? Highlighting. Only we are not going to make the thing complex, just we are going to make the things easy. We are going for the concept of abstraction. Okay, right. Now to remember this concept, just I will tell you one small quotation or dialogue. I will tell you in a movie called as Agadu. Agadu movie is there. So as he's in police station, one dialogue will be there. ఇప్పుడు చెప్పండి రా అబ్బాయిలు, what to do, what not to do. Dialogue is what? What to do, what not to do. Okay, this is the dialogue. What to do, what not to do. Now I will change this one for abstraction. Just I will change this dialogue as what to do, what to do. Same line, first line. But not how to do. But not how to do. That means what? Here, just remember this one, what to do but not how to do. Just here abstraction is telling what to do, it is going to tell you. But how to do, is it telling? How to do is nothing but what? Implementation. Is it highlighting the implementation? No, it is hiding the implementation. Just it is highlighting the what? Highlighting essential features. What are the important things that we want that it is going to highlight? Remaining things, all it is going to be hiding. So what to do, but not how to do. It is not going to show you how to do. Just remember this one. Then you can understand what is the concept of abstraction. Right. Now, as we are having abstraction in our Python, how we are going to implement the abstraction in Python? So before going to tell you about the abstraction in Python, just I want to discuss about object oriented programming. So just I will take some of the popular languages or popular object oriented languages, that is C++, and I can take Java, and now I can go for Python. So now I want to compare these three because these are very popular object oriented programming languages. So how here we are going to implement the concept of abstraction? So I will consider only Java. So here we are going to implement abstraction by using the concept of abstract classes, and also we are going to use the concept of interfaces. Next, now coming to this Python, how the abstraction is going to be done here means here also we are having abstract classes, don't worry, but how we are going to implement in Python means we are going to implement with the help of abstract classes. Okay, here there is no concept of interfaces. Okay, there is no concept of interfaces, but if you know the concept of interfaces in Java, then I will make here also one just statement, one small statement I will tell you, but one thing we have to understand is what here in Python there is no concept of interfaces. So what is meant by interfaces in Java? Interface is nothing but which contains all abstract methods. What is that? If interface contains what? Abstract methods only. Now if you understand about abstract classes, just I will demonstrate about interfaces also, but interfaces concept is not there in Python, right? So before going to discuss about these abstract classes, I have to discuss about abstract methods. So now we are going to see about what? Abstract methods and abstract classes. So first I will discuss about abstract methods. So what is meant by an abstract method? So now I think you got clarity about abstraction. So now tell me what can be the abstract method, what is meant by an abstract method? In this, what it is saying? Abstract. Already you know what is meant by abstraction. So just it is going to tell you what? Just it is going to tell what to do, but not how to do. That means what? Implementation will not be there for that method. So that method have only declaration, okay, only declaration, but but not implemented, or we can say that but no implementation, right? This is about abstract method. Abstract method means what? Abstract method is a method which have only declaration but there is no implementation. This is called as an abstract method. So here one point we have to understand. So if you are going to write an abstract method, for that we have to add one decorator. That decorator name is abstract method decorator. As we have seen in our class method, if you want to make a method as a class method, compulsory it has to be there. I have to use what? For that method I have to use @class method decorator has to be used compulsory. So here for abstract method also we are having a decorator called as abstract method decorator. So if you are using this decorator, it has to be present somewhere. So it is present inside a module called as ABC module. Very important name, ABC module. That means directly I can say one point that whenever we are implementing the concept of abstract method, I have to use @abstract method decorator. So if I want to use that @abstract method decorator, it is present inside a ABC module. So compulsory, when you are using the concept of abstract classes or abstract methods, compulsory ABC module has to be imported in your program. So this is the point I have to highlight it here, ABC module. So for this, I am going to take one small example. I will take a small program, so that first I will clear the uh, basic things. So see here, just I will not write anything. First, normally I will write a class here. Just I will take a class here. Just I will take a class called as fruit class. I am going to take. So for fruit, we are having what taste we are having. So I'm going to define taste. I'm going to define what taste. So this is one method. So it looks like what? It looks like just a normal method. So what is meant by abstract method? It should not have any body. Implementation should not be there. So I am going to write pass. Pass indicates what? That function is not having anything. Okay. We should not leave it as a empty body. We should write at least pass. Compulsory we have to write a pass if we don't want to write any implementation. Right. This is a class. Now just I am going to create an object of type fruit. F equal to fruit I am going to take. So F is which object? F is a object of type fruit. Just I will call F dot fruit. F dot fruit. Sorry. F dot taste. I'm going to write F dot taste. Here what we can understand, what is the output? I have not written anything inside this method, so that it will not print anything. But is there any error here? There is no error here. That means this is a valid program. So but what is this method? Can I call this method as abstract method? Yes, I can call it, because it is not having any body. But next I will take one more additional thing, that is what decorator I am going to take. So abstract method I am going to write. So if I execute this one, we will get an error. I will see that I will show you error that abstract method is not defined. Why it is going to give you an error? Because I have not imported that one. From where we have to import this abstract method decorator? From a module called as, from which module? From ABC module. I want to import what? Only abstract method, but I'm going to write what? Star. Import star. Now if I execute, there will be no problem. So there is no error. But you may get some doubt that, sir, okay, I have not highlighted that point. Now I am going to highlight that point is what? If any class is said to be a, oh sorry, anyway, I am discussing only about abstract methods now. When I go to abstract class, I will discuss this point. So this is about abstract method. Now I will talk about abstract class. Okay, right. Now one more thing here, if I write anything, so by writing the abstract method also, if I write any statement, there is no problem. Taste is sweet, for example, I'm going to write sweet. So if I execute this program, is there any problem? There will be no problem. You will get output called as sweet. That means, or you may think that, sir, here you are writing abstract method and you are writing some body. Will there be no error? Here there will be no error, because here our Python is not such strict. If you are going to do the same thing in your Java, it is going to give you an error. It is very strict. But here our Python is not such strict. It is not going to bother about syntaxes. So okay, you have written a great method, no problem. If you write the body also, no problem. It is that means what? It is not such strict. Okay, right. So it will be strict in some place. I will show you that place also. So that points also I will discuss. So this is about a method, abstract method. Now by seeing this, what we can understand? We can understand that this is a abstract method, but I have written a body here, implementation. Is it a correct type of writing a program? You told that it is an abstract method, that means you should not write a body. Again you are writing a body. Generally, if I want to say, it is not correct. Okay, officially you should not write that. If you want to write a body, better don't write abstract method here. Okay, right. Now I want to talk about abstract class. Very important, abstract class. So what is meant by abstract class? Here also you can see what? Abstract. Okay, first I want to talk about a class. What a class contains? Any class will contain methods and data. So there are different type of methods and there are different type of data. or variables. I don't want to talk about those things. Just I want to talk a class contains mainly data and methods. Just I will take some methods m1, and here I am writing something. m2 I am going to take, and I am writing some implementation. So this is a class. Is it an abstract class? Can I call this one as an abstract class? No, because the methods that are present inside this class are having bodies, are having implementation. So when I can call this class as an abstract class, if a class containing some methods, if they are not having an implementation, I can call this class as an abstract class. So once again I'm repeating, normal class, or we can say this is what class, or I can say this class as a concrete class. Which class? Concrete class. What is meant by concrete class? Means if a class is having some methods with implementations, then that class is called as what? Concrete class. Here in this class, how many methods are there? Two methods are there. One is m1, another one is m2. So both are having implementations. So can I call this class A as a abstract class? No, because it is not having any abstract methods. So I can call this one as a concrete methods. Sorry, concrete class. What is meant by concrete method? If a method is having implementation, then I can call those methods as concrete methods. Those methods as what? Concrete methods. If a class contains only concrete methods, then I can call that class as a concrete class. Now I want to talk about a abstract class. Now I am going to take one more class here. I am going to write two methods, three methods I will write m1, m2, and here m3 I am going to write. So I am not going to write any body for m3, just I am going to write pass for example. So if you see this class B, you can think in two ways. One is what? Okay, here concrete method is there, here concrete method is there. Here, is it an abstract method or not? You may think one thing that, so it is not an abstract method. I want to give empty body. I want to give what? Empty implementation. Just I am giving some body which is empty just by writing a pass here. That means what? If you are going to write any method with pass, and if you write at the rate abstract method, and if you are going to extend something, then I call this one as abstract method. Don't worry, just I will give you next example, that one. So this is what? This is an abstract method. For now I am going to consider. Okay, for now I am going to consider as an abstract method. Now see here, a class is going to contain three methods, where two methods are concrete method and one method is abstract method. Then automatically class has to become a abstract class. This is the concept. That is, for example, in one class, for example, 60 students are there. Okay, in that, three students are very bad students, for example, very bad. They will do very mischievous things in a classroom, and they will not listen to the lectures, and they will disturb the class. And these type of students are there in one class called as A section. So what we will call this section as? Very bad section. We will call this section as what? Very bad section. We will not see about remaining 57 students. Directly we will say what? Very bad. Okay, that means what? At least one bad student is there. I may call that class as a bad class. For example, I'm telling. In the same way, if at least we are having one abstract method, we can call that class as an abstract class. This is basic about our abstract class, but some more additional things I have to add to make that class as a abstract class. Now I will discuss about that. What are those additional things? Okay, now see, I think you have these points are clear for you. Now let us go to concept. So now I have shown you things that what are those things I can call partially implemented. What are those? Partially implemented. Partial implementing means what? Not fully implemented. So if it is fully implemented, I can call that class as what? Concrete class. If it is partially implemented class, then I can call it as what? Abstract class. Okay, partially implemented, or if no implementations are there also, if at least one implementation is not provided, then also it is what? It is called as abstract class. If it is partially means what? For example, class A is there, here M1 is there, some body is for implementation is there, next M2 is there, some implementation is there, and M3 is there, which is not having any implementation, for example, then it is called as what? Partially implemented, because only these two are implemented, only some part of methods are going to be implemented. So I can call it as what? Partially implemented, because this is not implemented. Okay, some part of that class A is implemented, so that I am saying it as what? Partially. So partially implemented class is also called as what? Abstract class, because at least one method is there, it is called as abstract. Now I'm going to take one more class as class B here. Here M1 is there, M2 is there, M3 is there, where three methods are not having any body. That means what? Here at least one method is also not implemented. So this type of class is also called as what? Abstract class only. Okay, right. Any case, this case is it is abstract class. In this case also we can consider it as an abstract class. So this is about abstract class. So now I am going to tell very important point about this abstract class. That is right. That is what? If you want, or we can say every abstract class. What is that? Every abstract class should be a child class of ABC class. What is the name of that class? ABC class. Okay, ABC is nothing but it is abstract base class. No need of knowing full forms, it is not necessary. Abstract base class. So very important point, this is every abstract class should be a child class of ABC. Here I have written should, I will write aside should not also. Why I have written should not, I will explain by taking the program. But first you remember that every abstract class should be a child class of ABC class. So this ABC class is also present in a ABC module only. So there is no problem, no need of adding additional things to this one, because already we have seen at the rate abstract method is present in our ABC model. For that one also, for that again we have to, anyway we have to take that particular ABC module. So again here it is not such important to discuss that point, right? Now see here, I'm going to take the same example here, fruit example I'm going to take. Here in this fruit example, what we have observed here, at the rate abstract method I have used, and here I am going to write pass. Here I am going to write pass. So is it an abstract method or not? Yes, it is an abstract method, but also what we are going to do, I can call that particular method. We can consider this one as what I told you, if at least a class contains one abstract method, it is called as what? It is called as an abstract class. So I can call this one as abstract class without writing. Here I have written one point, that is what? Every abstract class should be a child class of ABC. Yes, it is correct, but also if it is not there also, there is no problem. But compulsory, if you are following something, we have to follow that, then it will be strong. Okay, if I write ABC, what happens? If I am not writing ABC, what happens? I will show you now. So if I am not writing ABC, this is the thing. Okay, right. Now I am going to next very important point, that is, so here what we can observe here, we can also write some definition. If you already I have shown you that here I can also write what? Definition. If you write some definition or implementation, excuse, okay, if you are writing some implementation for the abstract method, is it a meaningful statement? Is it a meaningful method? I am saying that it is abstract method. Again, why you are writing implementation? So this program is meaningless, because we are using abstract method and writing implementation. But anyway, as it is a meaningless method also, it will work. Okay, and I have shown you this type of example. Now very important point I am discussing about this abstract class, that is That is for a right, for an abstract class, we cannot create an object for an abstract class. Not only in Python, in Java also. For an abstract class, we cannot create an object. Very important point. So you may get some doubt, sir. Already here you have created objects, sir. You are telling this one as an abstract method. So if it is a, if this fruit contains at least one abstract method, we can call this one as a fruit, abstract class. You have created for the and you have created an object for the fruit class, sir. You are telling what again? I am telling what here. For an abstract class, we cannot create an object, but we have created, no, sir. Yes, this is the reason why I am explaining this point. The reason is your Python is not such strict about the syntaxes. Okay, right. But it is possible, right? Here I cannot say this one as exact abstract class just for by seeing this abstract method. I'm saying this one as a abstract class. But if you want to say strongly that it is an abstract class, what we have to do? We have to follow the rule. That is what we have to write. That particular class has to extend ABC, and the methods which are abstract, we have to write a decorator called as @abstract method. Now the important point I'm going to tell you, that is very important point I'm going to write here. That is, so as it is an important point, I will write separately here. Now see, so Python restricts to, already I told you, restrict when it is going to restrict an object. So here it is not restricting. In this case, it is not restricting. But when it is going to restrict, so Python restricts to create an object, when for an abstract class, if for an abstract class, if if class if the class is extending, if class is extending ABC class, if class is extending ABC class, and contains, very important point, and contains at least one abstract method, so then we cannot create an object for this type. Very important point. Here 3 points we have to understand. That is what, this is the first point, this is the second point, and this is the third point. This is very important point. Okay, right. So now, before discussing in detail about this point, just I want to talk about this one here. So now see, I am telling an abstract method, but here I am writing a body. There is no errors. Okay, no problem. I am writing pass here. This indicates what? This indicates that taste is a method which is not having any body. Okay, I can call this one as abstract method, but also I can create an object for this one. But what is the rule now? For a abstract class, we cannot create an object. But here what I am doing? Here I am going to create an object. But one more point I have discussed, what? If a class contain at least one abstract method, then the class is what? Abstract class. But I am creating an object. So it is not a, we cannot say it as an exact abstract class. So if you want to say a class as an exact abstract class, what it has to be? For that we cannot create an object. When we cannot create an object for an abstract class? If class is extending ABC class, and at least if it contains one abstract method, how I can say that method as an abstract class? If I write @abstract method only, I can say that method as abstract method. If I am not writing this one, for example, if I ask you, is it an abstract method? You will say what? Yes, it is an abstract method. How you can say that particular taste method is not having any body? My concept is taste is not having any implementation. You are telling that statement, but what my statement is, taste is having an empty implementation. I am telling what, there is an implementation, but it is empty. Like in our Java, what we are going to do? If you are going to consider Java, There I am going to take, for example, 1 minute. Okay. Now I'm going to take, for example, Java I'm going to take. In that, if you're going to take void hi, if you write open bracket and closed bracket without writing anything, this is called as empty implementation. This can be called as what? Empty implementation. You cannot say that hi is an abstract method. When I can say hi as an abstract method means in Java, compulsory we have to place semicolon there and we have to use a keyword called as abstract here. In Java, we are having this rule. Okay, but here what is the difference between these two? We have to understand the difference between these two here. Here there is a body, there is a implementation is there, but that is empty. Nothing is there in that implementation. But here what? Here there is no body. At least empty implementation is also not there in this case. Okay, so now it will be clear for you. That is, this is a method which is having no implementation. I can consider what as an empty implementation. I don't want to say it as an empty implementation. I want to say that there is no implementation. For that, I am going to write abstract method. Abstract method. By seeing this, what we can understand, it is not a empty implementation. It is an abstract method. That means what? No implementation is there. Okay, right. Now, second point is what? The class has to extend ABC class. Now see, here this is very strictly follow the rules now. So now what fruit a class is going to extend ABC class. That means what? This, and it is containing at the rate, at the rate abstract method is going to contain. That means a class is extending ABC class and it contains at least one at the rate abstract method. There is nothing but an abstract method. So can I create an object for that one? No. Now observe. If I create here, what happens? What happens? Automatically we will get an error. That is what? Can't instantiate. Instantiate is nothing but creating an object. Okay, can't instantiate abstract class fruit with abstract method taste. That means what? I cannot create an object for the class fruit which contains abstract method taste. This is a very important point to understand. Now, if these two are present only, the rule is applicable. If I am going to extend ABC and if that class does not contain at the rate abstract method decorator for a method, that is what abstract method is not there, for example. Now see, will there be any error here? There is no error. Rule is what? When it is possible, when it is not possible to create an object, if that class is extending ABC class and if the class is having at least one abstract method with a decorator at the rate abstract method. Remember one point, compulsory if you want to say that method as a abstract method, compulsory we have to write a decorator called as at the rate abstract method decorator. And to make that class as an abstract class, compulsory we have to write that we have to extend ABC class. So then only rules of abstract class will be implemented. That is what? For abstract class, we cannot create an object. This rule will be applicable when? If the class is going to extend ABC class and the class should contain at least one abstract method, then that rule is applicable. If any of the case, that means what? If you are not extending ABC or if you are not writing, if you are not having at least one abstract method, then what happens? Then we can create an object. Okay, so this is about abstract class. Now I will take when you are going to write in this way, what happens? If you try to write this one, we are going to get an what? We are going to get an exception, an error called as type error. Okay, right. You may get some doubt that, sir, why the people who are going to create an abstract classes, why they make not to create an abstract, not to create an object for an abstract class? You may get some doubt. So see one thing, if I want to work, for example, I want to work hard. I want to work hard, so that I need what? I need some work. If I want to work hard, I need some work. If there is no work, is there any necessity of doing job? See, my what personal opinion is what? A person has to work very hard in his job, but I got a job where there is no work. where there is no work, then is there any need of having this job for me? Not there. In the same way, if an abstract class contains abstract methods, abstract method means what? It is not having any body, it is not having any implementation. So for if it is not having any implementation, what is the need of creating objects? What is the main purpose of objects? And the main purpose of objects is to access the contents of a class, to access the methods, or to access the data of the classes. So if the method is not there, again, what is the need of creating object? If it is not having body, why to create this object? If there is no work, what is the need of creating a job here? It is not correct. So that Python developers has done what? For abstract classes, they are doing what? They are not, they are restricting not to create an object for that particular abstract classes. This is the reason. Now I will go to different cases now. Right, this is about abstract classes. Up to here it has to be clear. Okay, now, so what are the 2 points we have to understand very carefully? That is, for an abstract class, we cannot create an object. First point, when we cannot create an object, if it is extending ABC class and if it contains at least one abstract method, then we cannot create an object. In any other case, that means what? If class is extending ABC and it is not having abstract method, or if it is having at least one abstract method and it is not extending ABC, then we can create. Okay, so these points we have to understand. Right, now let us discuss in detail about this, some more cases about this abstract classes. That is, abstract class, 1 minute. Okay, so abstract class can have what? Can have concrete classes. That means what? Some implementation classes, sorry, that some concrete methods, and also we can have what? Abstract methods. So an abstract class contains what? It can contain only abstract classes, or it can contain some concrete methods and some abstract methods. Okay, so right, so who is responsible? If you are writing an empty methods, what is the need of writing that one? That is, just I'm going to give an example. So class fruit is there. Class fruit is, listen carefully, very important concept. Class fruit is there. Here I am going to write a method called as taste as an, what I can say, abstract method. Here I have written @abstract method. So what is the need of writing a method as an abstract method? That thing we have to understand. Reason is, what are the fruits? For example, I am going to take fruits as apple. I am going to take fruit name apple. So which extends superclass. So what is the taste of this apple? For example, I am going to write taste as sweet. Okay, right. If I am taking one more class fruit called as mango, which extending fruit, what is the taste of fruit mango? For example, I am going to consider very sweet, very sweet. The method is what? Taste. Here the taste is what? Very sweet. That means if I consider any fruit, the taste will be different. So that I am going to write it as an abstract method. So if you write abstract method, so the classes which are inheriting the class properties, that means directly I want to say, that is, if the implementation, very important point, again repeating, if the implementation of any method, if the implementation of any method is different for class to class, that means for apple it is sweet, for mango it is very sweet, some other it is bitter, some other it is sour. In this type of, that means what? For every fruit the taste is different, the implementations are different, then I have to use the abstract method. For example, for all the fruits, for example, shape is there. For example, I'm going to consider all the fruits are in round shape, for example. Okay, so now what happens? What is the shape of apple? Round. What is the shape of mango? Round. For example, I'm considering, what is the shape of orange? Round. What is the shape of watermelon? Round. That means what? So if the properties, if the method is same, for all the child classes, then I have to write the implementation for that. Reason is, If I'm not writing the shape here, what I have to write again, the method I have to written, and I have to write round here. And here same method, shape I have to write, round I have to write, implementation I have to write, shape I have to write, implementation I have to write, shape I have to write, implementation I have to write. But see, all these implementations are same. All these implementations are same. What is the need of writing 4 or 5 times if you're having 4 or 5 classes? So for that, what I am doing, I am writing that particular method which is same for all these subclasses in superclass. Okay, whatever the method that is same for all these subclasses, if I write it in a superclass, then what happens? The property is inherited by the child class anyway. That means what? Now taste is inherited by the apple and shape is inherited by the apple. So as taste is different, I have written what? Abstract method. So I am giving body on my own, that is sweet. And shape is what? Same. No need of writing here. Already it is inherited from the fruit. In the same way, what is here? Excuse. What is here? Mango is there. It is also inheriting the properties of what? Fruit. That means for this mango also, taste is there and shape is also inherited by the mango. So as shape is same, I am not going to write any definition for this shape. But taste is different. So that I am going to implement that one by writing some taste. In the same way for orange, shape is same. So no need of writing shape here. If I write it in a superclass, that's enough. So that is when we have to go for the concept of abstract classes. Means if implementations or some implementations we can consider, if some implementations are different for the child classes, then for the child classes, then I have to use the concept of abstract methods. If the implementations are same, if implementations or same, then what I have to do? Then I have to go to which methods? Concrete methods. Better write those type of method as concrete methods. If the methods are different from one class to another, then better write those methods as abstract methods. Okay. For this, I am going to take one example. Right. Now the thing is, who is responsible to implement the abstract methods? So see, to implement, so already I told you what I told you, that what is meant by abstract method and classes are completed. Now who is implementing? If you write an abstract method in a class A, who has to give the body? Someone has to give the body. For example, abstract method, and this is what decorator is there. Here I am writing some define M1. This is abstract. As I know, this is an abstract method. So who will give body for this one? Means it's child class, those who are extending these properties. So now it acts as what? Super class or parent class. It acts as what? Child class or subclass. So now it is responsible. Who is responsible? B is responsible to give the implementation for this abstract method. Now this A is what? A is called as an abstract method. The reason is it is having at least one abstract method and it is extending the properties of ABC class. Now B is extending which properties? A's properties. That means internally B is getting this abstract method and B is getting ABC properties also, because A is extending ABC, I am extending B, so I will get the properties of A and also ABC. So in A, what is there? Abstract method is there. In ABC, the properties of abstract class is there. So all are available with this B now. Now see, if I am not going to implement abstract method, then this class also will become what? If I am not implementing, this class also will become abstract class. Otherwise, if I implement this one, for example, I am writing M1 and I am writing some implementation for that. Will this class become abstract class? No, it will not become abstract class. Reason is I am giving the body for that abstract method which I have inherited from the super class. Okay. Now B will not become a abstract class. So when B will become abstract class, if it is going to inherit some abstract methods from the super class, and if it is not giving definition for that abstract methods, then we will become abstract class. If it is giving the definition for that abstract methods, it will not become a abstract class. So that is what, who is responsible here? Child classes are responsible to provide implementation for the parent class abstract methods. Who is responsible? Child classes. Next, if child class is not implementing parent class abstract method, then child class also will become what? Child class also will become abstract class. So now just I will take one example to demonstrate all these points. That is, here I am taking fruit. In this fruit I will take one more thing called as the shape. For example, I am going to consider for all the fruits shape is round. Okay, round I am going to take. Yes, completed. Now one more child class I am going to take, class apple. I am going to take apple. It is going to extend fruit. Now here what I am going to take, just these two are available. These two are available for this apple. Now apple becomes what? Abstract class, because it is extending the properties of fruit, which extends the properties of ABC, and this fruit is having one abstract method. Without, if you are in this particular state, this apple is a abstract class. So I don't want to make apple as a abstract class. So what I have to do? I have to write the method. Sorry, I have to write the definition for the taste. So what I have to write? Taste. For that I am going to write what? For that I am going to write some definition. That is what the taste of apple is what? I am considering it as a sweet. Just otherwise just I will return sweet. Okay, because when I call, just if it returns, it's okay, it's fine. I will not print, just I will return. Right now, so this is the case. Now if I execute this one, is there any problem? There is a problem. Reason is fruit is abstract, we cannot create an object. Then just I will change this fruit as apple. Can I create apple object? Yes, I can create. Is there any problem? There is no problem. Reason is apple is not an abstract class. Apple is not an abstract class, because it is not having any abstract methods. Okay, now consider, now see here, if I call this one, there is no problem. And also a can call what? A can call shape also. A is which object? Small a is which object? A is apple type of object. So for apple type of class, what we are having, it is extending the properties of fruit. That means shape is available for apple, and also taste is available, and the definition of taste is taken here. So just as I returning, just I will keep the statements inside a print. So here I am going to print this one. So what will be the answer of this one? We will get answer as sweet and round. Observe that, sweet and round. Yes, here there is no problem. Now I am going to take one more class called as mango. Okay, here what happens? I am going to take I am inheriting the properties of whom? Fruit only. Now here I want to take one more method, additional method for this mango. There is no problem, we can take. So define seed will be there for this one. For mango we are having a seed, for example. So that I am going to write seed. So here I will return what? Seed. Returning seed, for example, because it is having a large seed inside. So just I want to take one method called as seed. Now observe here, mango is extending fruit, and fruit is an abstract class. As it is an abstract class, compulsory it is having some abstract method. So mango is going to implement the taste here, not implementing. Then what happens? Then if I try to create an object of type mango, is it possible or not? Just I have created, I am not calling anything, and I have created and trying to execute. Then what happens? For apple there is no problem, but for the mango, what happens? Can't instantiate abstract class mango. Reason is what? It is having a method called as taste. You may think that how mango got taste? Because it is extending fruit. If it is extending fruit, the properties will be given to this mango. As mango contains at least one abstract method, and it is having the properties of what? ABC also, because fruit is extending ABC and mango is extending fruit. So mango will have properties of fruit and ABC. And this method is also available for the mango. So that mango class is having ABC properties and also one abstract method. So for that we cannot create what? An object. So that we got an error. So what I have to do? Define. I will write here what? Taste. I'm going to write this some definition here. That is what self I am going to write. Now here I am going to return what? I am going to return very sweet. Very sweet. Right. Now observe. Will there be any problem here? There is no problem. Okay, object create for creation an object for a mango, there is no problem. If I call, what can I call on this mango object? I can call which methods here? Observe here, m dot shape I can call, m dot taste I can call, and also one more additional method is there in mango. That is what? M dot seed is there. So what will be the output of this program? Here taste is sweet and shape is round. Here taste is very sweet and shape is round, and seed is going to print seed, for example. Just I'm going to take single line implementation. Okay, right, this is the concept. So this is about abstract classes. So just I want to modify one more thing. So here I don't want to write something. I don't want to write here return. Just I want to write pass. I want to write pass and I want to execute this. Now observe. See what happens. It is executed. Reason is what? You may think that, sir, it is also a abstract method because it is not having implementation. No, it will not become an abstract method. It becomes what? It becomes a method which is not having an implementation. Very important. Which is having an empty implementation. So I am not writing this one as an abstract method. I am writing this one. Just I am writing what? Pass. So this pass indicates what? This pass indicates that nothing is there. No implementation is there here. Okay, no implementation is there. That's it. Okay, it is not an abstract method. I want to write an empty implementation. No implementation, nothing, but I want to write an empty implementation. To make this method as a abstract method, already it is there. So if I'm not going to write this one, what happens? By default, this is available forever mango, so that it is an abstract class. Now what I am doing? I am writing that here, but I'm writing pass. Pass means what? Empty implementation. Okay, so that there will be no problem here, it will be done. But when I call this taste, what happens? It is not going to print anything. That's it. Now observe here. See here, for the taste it is not going to print anything. For remaining two, it is going to print something. So here it is going to print what? None. Okay, reason is what? For taste it is not there, it is not going to return anything, so that it has printed what? None. Because if it is not returning anything, by default it indicates what? None only. So this is about abstract class. So just I will tell you one more small scenario. That is what already I told you what is meant by interface in Java. So in some places you may see, but it's not correct. You may see that if abstract class contain all abstract methods, then it can refer as interface. It can refer as interface, but this is not possible it is not correct in Python. But some may ask you that, is there any interface in Python? If you say answer no, why not? If an abstract class contain all abstract methods, can't we call it as an interface? We can't call it as an interface because they are comparing Java and Python, but in Python there is no concept of interfaces. But they will just create some notation, this type of conventions they are going to create. There is no concept of interfaces in our Python. Okay, right. Now let us see some more. If they once briefly I will explain about this abstraction. So if you don't know any implementation, that means what? Already I have discussed this point. Finally, I'm discussing once again. If we don't know any implementation, just we have requirement specification, then we should go for empty implementations. So I don't want to make the thing complex. Just to see here, class A is there. So I don't want to write any implementation for M1 and M2 because I know that if I am going to take any subclass of A, then these are different. It is having its own definition. If I take class C, which is extending A, this may have M1 definition as different. If I write some definition here for M2, that means what? This will be same for B. This will be same for C. You may get some doubt that, sir, is it compulsory to? Is it compulsory? It will be same for all the classes. Maybe. If it is not, what that particular class will do? It will override that one. It will override that method. Listen carefully. So for maximum of the subclasses, the method is same. The method implementation is same. So the implementation is written in superclass. So what happens? No need of writing that implementation in child class. So the same M2 is used by this B, the same M2 is used by C, but D don't want that implementation which is given by the parent. Then what this M2 will do? It will override. There is no problem. I am talking about only one class. Remaining 10 class is going to use same M2. Okay, so I will not care about this D. If D want to change, it will change its own definition by concept of overriding. But it is using for what? It is useful for what? 10 different classes. For 10 classes it is useful. If it is not useful for one class, I will not care about that particular class. Okay, what about this M1? M1 is different for every class, so that I will not give body or implementation for this one. Those who are extending class A, they will write their own body or their own implementation. Okay, this is about the concept of abstract classes or the concept of abstraction. So what is the difference between abstract class and concrete class? Just I will differentiate concrete class. If we are going to if you are talking about the complete implementation, then I have to go for concrete classes. Okay, if you are not talking about complete implementations, then I have to go for the concept of abstract classes. That means if you are talking about only partial implementations, that means all the methods of that particular class is not implemented, then I have to go for abstract class. If all methods are having the bodies, then are implementations, then I have to go for concrete class. Okay, right. So here one point we have to understand about this abstraction, that is what? Here the abstraction is not much meaningful because see, I have written at the rate abstract method, and if I am removing ABC, it is not considered as the abstract method also. Okay, otherwise if I have written ABC and if I am not going to write at the rate ABC decorator for a method, so it will not act as an abstract class. So as the syntax is not such strict in our Python, it is not much meaningful, but anyway the concept of abstraction is there in our Python. Okay, so this is about the concept of abstraction, and the abstraction concept is implemented with the help of, what is the concept here? With the help of abstract classes. So technically speaking, there is no concept of interfaces in our Python, right? This is about abstract classes. Now next concept is access specifiers. The concept is what? Access specifiers. Very simple concept, access specifiers. So if we consider before programming languages like C++, object oriented programming, and now Python, here we are having in C++ we are having private, public and protected. Three things are there, three access specifiers are there. In our object oriented this is Java, it is Java. Here what happens? Here if you are going to consider Java, it is having private, public protected, and also one more thing is that is default. If you are not going to write any access specifier, it is going to consider it as a default. But in Python, same like C++, we are having private, public, and protected. There is no concept of default. If you are not going to write anything for a member, then it acts as a public in our Python. Right now, I am talking about Python access specifiers. So remember one thing, in C and C++, we are having some keywords to represent whether that member is a private or public or protected. Okay. So here in our Python also, in our Java also, we are having some keywords to specify that it is a public, private, or protected. But in our in our Python, there is no concept of keywords. There is no concept of keywords here. But how we are going to say some member as a private, some member as a public, some member as a protected? So I will discuss now. Okay. So first thing we have to understand is what? How many access specifiers are there in our Python? In Python, we are having 3 access specifiers. What are those? First one is public, second one is private, and third one is protected. So by default, first point we have to understand is what? By default, the type of members is the type of members are nothing but what? Data and methods. The type of members of a class is public. Otherwise, if you want to say directly, default type is public. Okay, right. Next one, if you want to make the member as a private, then we have to use double underscore. This is what? Double underscore we have to use. Okay, right. Next point, if we want to make a member as a protected member, then we have to use single underscore. But one point here we have to understand is this is only convention. This is only Python convention. That means what? To make it as a protected, actually protected is not there, but to make a member as a protected, to understand the programmer it is a protected, we are writing underscore. So don't worry, I will explain the concept, then we can understand what is the use of this single underscore. Now I am taking class A. Just see here, till now we have not discussed any concept of this private, public, and protected. So by default, all variables are what? All variables till now what I have taken, whatever the methods I have written, all are public by default. But now see, here I am going to take a class called as A. Here I am not talking about abstraction, so that I am going to remove this ABC. Right? I am taking a class called as A. Here I want to take some variables. Okay, that is in constructor I will take. So underscore init underscore I am writing self here. Okay, now observe here, I will take one variable, that is self dot a equal to 100. I am going to take. Now is it a public or private or protected? As I am not writing any double underscore or single underscore, by default it is a public. So if it is a public, where we can access, if it is a public, we can access anywhere. That means what? Not only in that class, I can access outside of the class, I can access in another class, or I can access anywhere. But to access the member of a class, I require what? I require object. Is this location is whatever the statement I am writing, is it inside a class? No, only the class is up to this point. This is not the class, this is outside of the class. So I have created an object. Sorry, just I will change the name here, object name as X. Now from this, by using this object, I can use what? I can access what? The member of that particular class A. Okay, I have to write what? X dot A. So what is the output of this program? You are going to get output as 100. So by this point, what we have to understand, if we are not going to write anything for any variable, by default it is going to act as a public. If that variable or method, it may be anything. If we want to access it outside of a class also, we can access. This is a public. Public means what? Anywhere we can use. Now I want to talk about private. Very important concept, private. Now I will take the same thing as a private. To make a private, I have to use what? Underscore underscore symbol I have to use. Now listen carefully. The property I am going to tell you. So if it is a private variable, it can be accessed. It can be accessed within the class, within that class only, within that class only. That is, here I am going to take one method. Method M1 I am taking. Method M1 I am taking. Here I am going to take, I am going to access that one. That is what, how I can access? Print of self dot underscore x I am going to write. What I am going to write? Underscore x I am going to write. Now tell me one point, that am I accessing, sorry, this is a self dot underscore a. So is it valid or not? Yes, it is valid. Reason is what? A belongs to class A. I am accessing from the class A only. There is no problem here. But here, so first I will remove this one. Just I will create an object, and to access this here, I have to call what? M1. So just I will call M1 here. Now observe the output of this program. Yes, it is 100. There is no problem. Now the concept is, because where I am using this underscore a inside this class only, so that it is, there is no problem. As it is a private variable, it can be accessed in the same class. Now I want to access that particular underscore a outside of the class. Outside of the class. That means here. So x dot underscore a. If I write this one here, what happens? Observe. So clearly it is saying what? A object has no attribute underscore a, because the scope of that particular underscore a is what? Only within this one. It can be accessed only within this class A only. It cannot be accessed outside of that particular class. So we are getting what? We are going to get an error. Okay. Now without this one, for example, I am going to access without underscore. Let us see what happens. So just I will make this one as a comment. So see here. I will make this one as a comment, and I'm executing this. So what happens? Again, it is saying what? A is not there, because what is the name of that one? The name of that one is underscore a, because it is what? To make that variable as a private, I am using underscore a. So compulsory we have to use what? We have to use underscore a only. So private variables can only accessed within that class. Okay. And public variables, that means if you are not going to write any underscores, see, observe here, if you are not going to write any underscores, this type of variable is called as what? This type of variable is called as public variable. So public variable can be accessed within that class and also outside that class, so that now it is valid. So what we are going to get, two times I have printed. One is from the same class, another one is from outside the class. So there is no problem, we are going to get the output, right? Now one point I want to discuss here, that is about protected. What is the use of protected here? Generally there is no concept of protected in our Python, but there is a concept of protected in object oriented programming. So what is meant by this protected means, the rule of this protected is, so generally if we want to access any variable, only in child classes, that is, for example, I will tell you, my father purse, is there. Who can access my father purse? Only child. For example, only I am talking about the only child can access, and that father can access. Otherwise parent purse I am going to take. Parent purse can be accessed only by the parent and only by the child. If some X person is there, some other person is there, other person can access father parent purse? No, it is not possible. If it is the scenario, or if it is the case, then that type of variable has to be declared as protected. Protected means what? The variable or a member of that class can be accessed only by that class and by the child class only. It cannot be accessed by any other classes. If you want to make, or if you want to create any variable or a method which has to be accessed, generally variable, if you want to access that variable inside a child class only, or in the parent class and child class only, just write one single underscore a, so that what the programmer can understand, who is reading that program can understand that variable is protected. That means what, can be accessed only in child class and that in that parent class only. So but actually it is not there, but by seeing this underscore he can understand. Okay, but it is not there in our Python. So protected is implemented with what, single underscore, but not there in Python, but it's just a convention to make others to understand that this a will be used only inside a parent class and child class. Just it is a convention, right? Just anyway, just I will show you that example here. Here I am going to write underscore a. Anyway, can't I access this one outside of this one, outside of the class? Is there any rule? There is no rule. Is there any rule? Now see, I'm going to execute. So if I'm execute F5, what happens? It is executing outside the class also. There is no problem. But by seeing this underscore, what I should understand? I should understand that, okay, if the programmer is writing that underscore, the meaning of that one is what? It has to be used only. It has to be used only in the A class and its subclass only. Okay, for that, just I will write a class A, and here I will use, for example, def underscore underscore init. I will write underscore underscore. I am going to write what, self, and here I am going to print what? I am going to print A. I am going to print self dot A. I am going to underscore A. I am going to write. Is there any problem here? Let us see. No need of calling x dot m1 here, because okay, anyway, I will leave it as it is. Now observe here, what is the output of the program? Just 100 is going to be printed. Reason is what here? Self dot underscore A. 1 minute. Just I will I have to create the child object here. Just I will write here B. Okay. Now observe. What will the output here? B object has no attribute underscore A. Because here, 1 minute. Just I will take, because this can be accessed only. This is what, which variable it is? It is the variable of type instance. 1 minute. Here I will write what? Then define M2 I will write. So if I write define M2 of self here, observe carefully. Self, here B is extending which properties? A's properties. So now I want to print self dot A here. Self dot underscore A. So I am calling x dot, I will call x dot M2 now. So what happens? We are going to get 100. There is no problem. We are going to get 100 here. Okay. So I can access. You have to understand what I can access. I'm not calling M1. I'm not talking about this M1. Just I have instantiated in this x equal to b means what? This constructor is going to be called, as child class is not having any constructor. Superclass constructor will be called, and this A belongs to A class. And this, by seeing this, what programmer can understand? Okay, it is a protected member, so that it can be accessed in child class. But actually, is it a protected member? It is not a protected member. It is a public member only. Okay, for convention only I am writing underscore. So by seeing that underscore, the other programmer has to understand what, okay, this variable has to be used only in child class and in the parent class only. I should not use outside of those two classes. So but actually, can we use or not? Yes, we can use. There is no problem. Okay, so this is about access specifiers in our Python. Okay, right. Now just I want to take a small example. Already I have discussed about this point. That is what, private members cannot be accessed outside of. One point we have to see about this variable, that is private variables. That is, as we say that it is not accessible outside of the class, but there is one way to access the private members also outside the class. So just I will show you that scenario here. That is internally how this private variable will be stored means. So it is having one format, that means how this variable is going to be represented. So generally by using double underscore, I am going to represent a variable as a private. So internally how it is going to be stored means, first it is going to have object reference, okay, then dot will be there, that means to access that, underscore, here there will be a class name, we have to write what, class name, and what is the name of the variable here, underscore underscore a. So by using this notation we can access the private variables outside of the class also, there is no problem, but it is not recommended to access the private variables outside of the class. So just I will take the example and just I will show you how to access these private members outside of the class. So see here, in this example I will take for example x dot underscore underscore a. Is it possible? It is not possible. What is the error we are going to get here? We are going to get error, that is a object has no attribute underscore underscore a. Now if I want to access this private variable outside of the class, that means this is outside of the class only. If I want to access that, what is the notation I have to write? Representation, how it should be there? First one, that is object reference. So x is the object reference of type a. Next, what should be there? Class name. What is the class name here? A. Before that class name, what should we have? One underscore should be there. So and I have to write what? And I have to write underscore underscore a. Now if I execute this one, observe carefully, we are going to get output as 100. That means here one thing we have to understand. What is that thing? To access the private variable outside of that class, we have to use what? Object reference dot underscore class name underscore underscore that private variable name we have to write here. So automatically by using this representation we can access the private members outside the class also. But is it recommended to access private variables outside of the class? It is not recommended, as there is a way to access the members, private members, but it is not recommended to use this type of notation. Okay. Now I want to discuss about one more concept, a small concept we are missing. That concept I will discuss. Already that point was discussed in previous sessions, but also I want to discuss once. That is about underscore underscore str underscore underscore. What is meant by this underscore underscore str underscore underscore is nothing but it is same as, if you know Java, it is same as toString method. It is same as what? toString method. In Java we are using what? toString method. In the same way in Python, this is in Java. In Python, what we are going to do? We are going to use underscore 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 we are going to use. So what is the purpose of this one? Just I will take a small example here. That is, if I am going to take class student, I am going to take student details here. Okay. So in this class, I am going to take a constructor underscore underscore init underscore underscore. Okay. In this, I want to take two parameters. One is name of the student and his roll number. Okay. Right. After this, just I want to instantiate. That is, I want to initialize self dot name equal to name and self dot roll number equal to roll I have to write. Yes. Now if I am going to write, if I'm going to create an object s equal to student. So student s is which type of object? Student type of object. Just I will pass two variables. One is Shiva and I'm going to pass roll number as 50. Okay. Now here, if I print s, observe carefully. This point is very, very important. If I print s, what happens? It is going to give me some notations. It is going to give me some notation. What it is saying? Underscore underscore main. So I will talk about this underscore underscore main. Don't worry. After completing this one, I will talk about underscore underscore main only. So underscore underscore main underscore underscore dot. This is class name and this is object at some address. It is going to give the address. That means if I try to print the reference, it is telling what? Okay, I am pointing to the object at some location. So it is not going to give anything. Is it a meaningful representation? Can you understand anything? Can you understand anything in this statement? It is not such easy to understand. So by default, if you are going to print a reference, this is going to be printed. Now, I don't want these type of meaningless statements, meaningless lines. I don't want. If you don't want that S is which type? Student type. So write down what you want. Write down what you want. If I print student, I want to get his roll number and name, for example. So write whatever you want here. So compulsory we have to return that. It is compulsory to do what? Return. What I want return? Student name and a string we have to return here. Student name. Where it is present? Student name is present inside a student name. Okay, I'm going to write a replacement operator here. Next, and roll number. Roll number is what? Roll number is, it is written inside a, here also I'm using replacement operator, and I'm using what? Dot format of, I'm going to write self dot name comma self dot roll number. Now observe carefully here. If I write now, what happens? Generally, if you are not going to write this one, then what happens? If I'm not writing this one, internally, whenever we are going to print some reference, by default, object class underscore underscore str underscore underscore will be executed. There, how it is represented? There, the definition is what? So whenever some object reference is going to be executed, just print that underscore underscore main underscore underscore. This is what I will tell you. We have to write what? Class name and object at some address has to be printed. If I print A, for example, I have changed this one as A. I have changed the class name as A. For example, I'm changing class name as A. And here also I'm taking class name as A. Now what will be the output of this program? Observe now carefully. So see, now what happens? Here, before it is student, now it is A. But what happens here? That address is same because, sorry, here address also changed because it's a new object I'm creating. Old object will be deleted and new object is going to be created. The address will be what? Different. So in this way, if I create one more class and if I execute, class name will be changed and object at will be printed and address will be changed. So I don't want this type of different notations. Just I want the meaningful information. For that, I am going to override that method. I'm going to do what? I'm going to override. What is meant by override? Already something is available for this one, for the student underscore underscore str underscore underscore is available where it is printing some statement. So that I want to do what? I want to write my own definition. So if I write this one, let us see what happens. So see, if I print as clearly, it is saying what? Student name Shiva and roll number 50. I will create one more student, that is S1. I am going to create. Here I am going to write what? The student of, I will write some details like Ram and his roll number is 5, for example. So if I print S1, if I print any type of student, then it will go to this str only. It will not go to object class str. It will go to only this str. If it is not there, what happens? It will go to object class str underscore underscore str underscore underscore. So what is object class here? Object class is superclass of all the classes. So now what happens? In first case, we got student name Shiva and roll number as 50. And now here what happens? Second case, Ram and roll number is 5. Okay, this is the usage of your underscore underscore str underscore underscore. Okay, now last concept I want to discuss in this one, that is in this session, that is underscore underscore name underscore underscore. Very important concept this is. Okay, right, because these things will not be discussed generally, but I want to show you. So before going to discuss, just I want to type, I don't want to write anything here, just I want to print only one thing, that is print of I'm going to write type of, I'm talking about underscore underscore name. So underscore underscore name underscore underscore I am going to write. If I execute this statement, see here, let us execute this. I want to execute this statement now, and you can find what is it? It is a which type? It is a string type. It is what? String type. And I want to see what is present in that, underscore underscore name underscore underscore. Observe carefully now. What is there? Main is there. What is there? Main. That means here in the name, by default it is which type? String type, and it is equal to what? Main. So generally in programming languages like C, C++ and Java, what is the starting point? Main. But here in our programming, are we writing any main? No. But here if we take the name variable, it is what? Name variable is main. So right now I want to discuss about this underscore underscore name underscore underscore in detail. Just I will take two things, and 2 points I want to discuss about this underscore underscore name. So that is, first point is, when you run a standalone program, that is, just I will take a standalone program. Here I am writing some program name called as test.py. This is only about one file I am going to talk. So here, if you are going to write some underscore underscore name, so it is the value of this underscore underscore name will be what? It is equal to underscore underscore name will be equal to what? Underscore underscore main underscore underscore. That is, just I will take a scenario. That is what here I am going to write, define some function one I am taking. In this I am going to write print, observe carefully, print the value of, just I want to write what? The value of underscore underscore name underscore underscore is. So where generally it is present? It is present inside a, just I want to write a concatenation symbol, because name is also returning what? str only. So if I execute this one, what will be the answer? Main will be the answer. So if it is main, observe here I am writing what? If name underscore underscore equal to, here I am writing what? Underscore underscore main underscore underscore. Then what I want to do? Then only I want to call function one. That is nothing but f1. So observe carefully here. Here by default name will be what? Main. So first which statement will be executed? This will be executed here. If underscore underscore name underscore underscore equal to main, the meaning of this one is what? By default it contains what? Main only. So as this statement is true, I will call f1. So if I call f1, what happens? It goes here and it will print what? The value of underscore underscore name underscore underscore is what? Underscore underscore main will be printed. So see, the value of underscore underscore name underscore underscore is what? Underscore underscore main underscore underscore. That is what, if it is a standalone program, there is not only single file if I am going to consider. Now observe carefully, this is what? Test dot, the name of this one I am going to take what? Test.py. Next I am going to take one more file. I am going to take one more file, second file. There just I want to import. I want to import that particular module. So just what I would write? Import test as T, for example. That means I want to access with the help of T now. Now just I am writing here T dot. Just I want to write what? T dot. After this I want to write T dot F1 as I have taken there. Now internally I want to print the name of, now I want to print the name of what? Underscore underscore name underscore underscore I want to print. Observe carefully, this is the point you have to understand. So now where I am printing name here? In my program. So the name of my program is, I will save it as test1, test1.py. I am going to save it. Okay, right, I have saved it what? Test1.py. If I execute this program, what will be the output? See, first time what is the output? Test. What happens here? Just I will keep these two files aside and I will explain. So this is what? Test1, and here I will take test also. Just see, observe these two here. Here when I am calling t.f1, what happens? So t is which type? T is what? Test. So it will go to test class and it will execute what? T value of this one is what? This one is main in test. So main in test. So it's going to print what? The name of that class. That is what? The name of that particular file. That is what? Test. And here this underscore underscore name contains what? It is present in a test1. So it contains main only. That means if you are going to access one file from one module from another module, then always name and underscore name is going to contain what? That particular file name. Okay, so that we got output as what? In first case, it is going to give you what? Class name, that particular, sorry, file name. Here, if you are going to print underscore name underscore, it will give you what? Underscore main only. That particular main only will be taken here. So this is 2 points we have to understood about this underscore name underscore. So in next session, we are going to start a new concept. Okay, thank you.